So next topic, we are talking about the drone data and analysis. So this is just a basic topic where we are just touching this topic so that DGCA wants, when you as a pilot, you should know what are the applications of the drone data and what can be done using the drone. So you are right now, though you are just getting a license from a flying perspective, but you should know what are the future aspects of your drone flying, for what purposes the drone you would be flying, the data what you would be capturing using the drone, what it can be done, so just to give you a glimpse of the data what has been captured by the drones and how it can be utilized into the regular activities. Okay, so this is basically a data more or less by used by GIS analyst or GIS technician, geospatial जो बोलते हैं ना वो लोग. So as our drone industry, the central government has a vision that will become a global drone hub by 2030. Similarly, Indian government also looking forward that GIS technology is also being utilized very effectively along with the drone technology, and our GIS industry also grows and also becomes a global hub under the geospatial technology rules and regulations by 2030. Okay, from that perspective, the central government has already released a geospatial policy in 2022. Okay, currently it's a draft version. This year the actual version of the geospatial policy will be released for people to use and follow. Okay, so let's see what are the things we covered under this topic: the principles of observation, element of image and video interpretation, introduction to photogrammetry, types of image and video data, and analysis. Okay, so what are the principles of observation? Recognizing target is the key to interpretation and information extraction. यानी कि आप जो भी इमेजेस कैप्चर कर रहे हो, जो भी टारगेटेड इमेजेस आप कैप्चर कर रहे हो, उस डेटा से यू शुड एबल टू इंटरप्रेट एंड एक्सट्रैक्ट इंफॉर्मेशन. जैसे अगर आपने कोई टावर का फोटो निकाला या फिर सपोज कोई लोकल लोकेशन का फोटो निकाला, you should able to interpret the data from it, you should able to interpret information from it, you should able to interpret what is good and what is bad, okay, or what is that shown into that particular images. Okay, like for example, using these images, what normally you do, visual elements क्या है, tone find कर सकते हैं, शेप फाइंड कर सकते हैं, साइज फाइंड कर सकते हैं, पैटर्न फाइंड कर सकते हैं, टेक्सचर फाइंड कर सकते हैं, शैडो से हमको काफी इंफॉर्मेशन मिलता है, शैडो इफेक्ट से we can, based on the type of the thing, we can calculate maybe the height, and we can relatively we can tell this is a tall building or this is a small building, all that thing based on the
area.
area पता चल सकता है, that's the shape and size. Okay, एंड एसोसिएशन ऑल्सो लॉट ऑफ टाइम, लाइक हम कभी पिक्चर्स लेते हैं ऊपर से, अगर हमने देखा रहेगा गूगल इमेजेस में टेक करते हैं, तो वी नॉर्मली लुकिंग एट दैट इमेजेस वी कैन टेल ओके दिस इज अ रिवर, और दिस इज अ वाटर बॉडी, or this is a farm, or this may be a barren land which is not a cultivated land or something, or maybe this is a mountainous area, or this is a forest area, or this is like a green land kind of thing is there, or this is house or building or whatever it is there, based on whatever data you capture or whatever you capture using your drone, you can interpret on the visual elements based on tone, shape, size, pattern, texture, shadow, and association with it. Okay, so tone like refer to the relative brightness or color of the object in the image. Generally, tone is the fundamental element for distinguishing between different targets or features. Variation in tone also allows element of shape, texture, and pattern of object to be distinguished. So you can see here road दिख रहा है, different structures है आपके. Okay, and then you can see there are structures on the left side, on the right side. कहीं पे आपका क्रॉप है ना, एग्रीकल्चरल ग्राउंड है, कहीं पे आपका प्लेन ग्राउंड है. ऑल दैट थिंग्स यू कैन सी इनटू द इमेजेस. शेप में देखो, अगर आप यहाँ पे शेप दिख रहा, तो दिस मे बी अ जॉगिंग ट्रैक काइंड ऑफ थिंग, and then you can see there are a couple of jogging tracks are there, then there are some open lands are there, there is a road, there are some houses which are there, which you can see into the images. Okay, पैटर्न्स क्या बोलता है कि सिमिलर, जैसे कि ये ऑर्चिड फार्म है. Okay, so you can see the orchid farms lying over there, then regularly spaces of houses. So recognizable patterns आपको पता चल जाते हैं. So looking at the picture, you are able to make out what is what, and accordingly you will able to distinguish and understand the patterns over there. साइज अभी देखो यहाँ पे, जैसे यहाँ पे देखो, अगर राइट साइड में यू सी देयर आर ऑल स्मॉल स्मॉल हाउसेस आर देयर. देयर इज अ बिग स्ट्रक्चर ओवर हियर व्हिच इज एक्चुअली अ वेयर हाउस. Okay, and then it is surrounded by the roads. There is a road coming here. There is some roads are interconnecting to each other and all the things. There is open land which is been there, which can be. So based on the images you can understand the size. ये कोई बड़ा structure या बड़ा building है या बड़ा warehouse है. Whereas these are all residential small houses or small houses of the people who are maybe working in this area. टेक्सचर, अगेन टेक्सचर अगर देखो देखो यहाँ पे आपको ये दिस इज बेसिकली द ट्री सेक्शंस और अनइवन सेक्शन है. ओके, सो यू कैन सी दिस इज द फॉरेस्ट पार्ट, दिस इज लाइक अ ग्रास लैंड, दिस इज लाइक अ ओपन लैंड और अ बैरन लैंड, नॉट कल्टिवेटेड और नॉट having any kind of vegetation over here. You can see these are a lot of trees over here. There is a open ground over here on the top, and the below part is basically an open ground, but it is uncultivated or unused kind of thing. Again, from with respect to the shadow, I can see with respect to shadow which building is high or low, or I can, with respect to the image of the shadow, I can make out. Okay, like for example, this building looks very big, whereas you see there are small buildings are also there, or small houses are also there, based on the what shadow is being created over there. Okay, again association, again based on association, you can see here there is a place where there is a lake. You can see the ships into there. Then there is a road, and on the road side, both side roads, there are some shops or houses are there. So that's how you can, then you can see some place which has been cultivated as a garden where people can enjoy and spend some time over there for recreational activities. Okay, so these were just a visual images where it will able to interpret. Looking at those images, you can interpret some or other different aspects of a, or you can get the information from them. Okay, so type of images: infrared images, near infrared images, night vision, thermal images, or multispectral images. So like this, you can see here infrared image. A person is holding a snake in his hand, so he can see it is like that. He can make out the person and holding the snake and all the things. Okay, near infrared image, like this is the normal RGB image. The same image, when we are captured in a near infrared, we can get the NDV values of the image. Again, thermal images, we have seen this type of picture earlier also in the payload section. Okay, multispectral images, like if you see this particular plot, this has having this particular land having multiple plots. So you can see a fully cultivated crop or a green crop which is ready for cutting and other thing. They are having a lower or higher NDV values. Okay, so 0.8, whereas a barren land, empty ground, okay, which is not having any kind of crop, you can see it is having a very low NDV value. Okay, 0.00 something. So that way you can see here. Okay, so these are all good crop lands or crop plots, whereas there are some plots which are empty or lying unutilized. Night vision, again, this is basically used in a defense purposes or defense requirement. So normally night vision are used by those people. Okay, introduction to photogrammetry. Now earlier, these images what we used to capture used to be captured using a normal SLR cameras, and you used to process them as a hard copy of the photographs. Okay, but because of the digital evolution, you can always use a digital camera or digital SLRs and see those images on the screen itself. Rather doing expensive printout and all the things, you can see those images on the screen itself, and then you can derive the reports or the output from them. So photogrammetry is a science and technology of obtaining spatial measurements and other geometrical reliable derived products from photographs. So earlier this, when I say photographs, photogrammetry was earlier also there, but it was done on a physical photographs. But now because of advancement of the technology and all, your photographs can be analyzed on digital only. You can analyze through some different softwares for doing this kind of activities, photogrammetry. Okay, so it can obtain approximate distance, area, elevation, okay, using hard photography product with unsophisticated. Earlier this was the method to do it. Now geometric concept for generating precise digital elevation models, okay, DEMS, or orthophotos or thematic GIS data. The digital photogrammetry is changing rapidly and forms the basis for the most current photogrammetric operations, like mapping from the aerial photographs, can take numerous forms and employ either hard copy or a soft copy approach also. Orthophotos can combine the geometric utility of a map with the extra real world image information provided by the photograph. The process of creating orthophotos depend on the existence of the reliable DEM for the area being mapped. That means whatever the digital elevation models follow करके आप जो भी image capture करते हो, the more amount of data you have, more images you have, the better orthophotos you will able to create. Okay. So what can be your drone data could be done. So the images gathered during the mission can be processed using the software to sort, organize, and manage the data contained with the images. The image processing tool that produces the final data sets that can be easily analyzed and provide valuable business insights such as severity of damages of wind turbine blade or degree of degradation of insulator on a power line. जैसे हम लोग पावर लाइन टावर का इंस्पेक्शन कर रहे थे, so our target was, our POC was for 100 towers. Okay, and that also we need to complete in 3 months. 3 months में हमको 100 towers के photographs लेने थे, उसके अंदर जो भी defects है वो find करने थे and report to the board. But वो 3 महीने का काम, like in a day I was able to do only 3 to 4 towers only. Okay, because I was not, I mean not me, my pilots were not aware how to fly the drones near the power line towers. Okay, मेरे 2 Mavic drones भी उसी चक्कर में खराब भी हो गए थे because they are not electromagnetic shielded drones. Okay, and my pilot was flying very close to the power line towers or power line wires, in fact, because those wires were giving electromagnetic interference, and that's how my drones got damaged. Okay, so I checked with the DGI and other team, and they suggested that you have to fly a drone little bit away from the power line towers, maybe something around like 5 to 10 meters away from the tower, and then capture the image. I should not go beyond 5 meters of the drone of the tower. Okay, to just safeguard my uh, drones. So whatever the data we have captured through the our activity on the power line towers, we will able to compile the data. But it was really a tedious and manual activity. Imagine I am doing a photography of a tower. Okay, one power line tower. I used to get around 300 to 500 photographs. Okay, of one tower, and maybe 1 GB or 2 GB का मेरे पास video footage आता था. Okay, so all this data, imagine of 10 towers. If I'm able to do 10 towers in a week, I have a 10 towers ka data with me. But again, the analysis of the data was manual. So initially we tried to do manual, try to understand what is what. Okay, board didn't have a happiness on that, or they didn't find it is very encouraging or important. So they asked us to go back and find out what could be done to make it better this activity. So when though we had a data with us, what we did is we captured that data, we put it in a laptop, we came back to Mumbai, and then we sat and did the brainstorming of it. Once we do the brainstorming, we understood that first the drone way we have flown, the way we have captured the data, these are all random ways, because every pilot will have his own way of flying the drone and capturing the data on it. So we understood and we proposed to the board stating that we should have some kind of a uniform flying of a drone so that we have a very consistent amount of data and consistent type of data. Okay, तो ये सारा चीजें हमने करने के बाद दोबारा हमने फ्लाई किया ड्रोन्स को, and then we captured the data, we analyzed the data manually. Every tower I would require minimum 2 to 4 hours of a time. Okay, which was actually killing my huge amount of time. So people suggested that we utilize or develop a third party tool. Okay, so we actually developed a third party tool where it was able to give me the information related to the towers. Okay, so that all 10 towers का मैं data equally uniformly मेरे पास आने लग गया, and then I used to capture all the information, convert the reports into form of a template which would be helpful for body to present to their executive management. Okay, so that is how we utilize our drone data for analysis. So looking at those drone data of my powerline tower inspection project, I can see that there were a lot of issues, lot of challenges were there. Lot of people were not reluctant to talk or give inputs. Okay, we used to ask lot of villagers like why this power line tower was facing this kind of problem. You should check and all the things. But then the local person would say that he is not employee of you, or we are not employee of you. All that things used to crib and tell this is not possible for us to do. So then next phase we utilize AI and ML, so that the data, whatever the reports we used to generate manually, we can generate using AI. So our efficiency has improved, the timelines has improved, and we were able to complete our entire project and submit the report by 85th day, that is 85 day. So target was given to us for 3 months, 100 towers. We were able to complete all 100 towers within the simulated time, and were able to give them the report stating that couple of things what is required for them to proactively monitor and do the power line tower inspections. Okay, again the data whatever is there for executive purposes, you can always create some graphs, some data points and all the things, and you can give them executive committee to read, or the higher officials to read and interpret and plan what is required for them to do further. Okay, then data mapping, navigation, user graphical interface. So depending upon amount of data whatever you capture with respect to the drones. So अभी जैसे for example 1.5 year back, one of my friend has actually flown a drone over the Daulatabad fort, and he has captured the entire view of a Daulatabad fort. And what is this geographical survey of India actually asked that data to be captured and shared to them. They have put up a team to analyze this data and provide a complete three-directional view of the Daulatabad fort, so that I can just go into that view and scan and move across the locations to see the magnificence of that fort over there, so that you can utilize what purpose the drone data could be there and how it can be utilized for further interpretation or information gathering. Okay, so with that we complete our introduction to drone data and analysis. Any questions so far? हाँ उमेश बोलो.
सर 3D इमेज पण तयार करू शकतो ना?
हाँ, बट
ओके.
उसके लिए आपको सॉफ्टवेयर लगेगा.
वेगळं लावायला लागेल का?
हाँ, पिक्स
ओके.
4D है, ड्रोन डिप्लॉय है, बहुत सारे सॉफ्टवेयर है.
हाँ.
Okay. So there is a क्या बोलते हैं इसको, हमारा रिमोट सेंसिंग डिपार्टमेंट जो है, दे एक्चुअली क्रिएट्स कोर्सेस. ओके, जैसे अभी देखो ये अक्टूबर में एक कोर्स है, 5 day ट्रेनिंग ड्रोन डेटा प्रोसेसिंग एंड रिमोट सेंसिंग एप्लीकेशंस. ओके, सो ड्रोन से जो भी आप डेटा कैप्चर करते हो इसके ऊपर पूरा उनका कोर्स है. ओके, तो पूरा जो मैंने अभी आपको इंट्रोडक्शन कराया था, फोटोग्रामेट्री, लाइडार, एप्लीकेशन केस लाइक प्रिसिशन फार्मिंग है, जियो साइंस है, क्लाइमेटिक स्टडीज है, या फिर कैडेस्ट्रल मैपिंग है, using RGB, multispectral and thermal bands for production generation. So जो भी लोग हैं जैसे जियो स्पेशल प्रोफेशनल्स है, एनवायरमेंटल साइंटिस्ट है, अर्बन प्लानर्स है, एग्रीकल्चर कंसल्टेंट्स है, डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट प्रोफेशनल, एनीवन इंटरेस्टेड इन लर्निंग अबाउट ड्रोन डेटा प्रोसेसिंग फॉर रिमोट सेंसिंग. Okay, but there is a criteria. Application must hold master's degree in science, bachelor's degree in engineering, graduation degree at least with 2 years in relevant action. So they can do this course. Okay, this course is basically I think at Hyderabad या नागपुर में हो सकता है. Okay, and fees for them is 10,000 rupees. Okay, private करना है किसी को outside, they who are not part of the central government of any college or institute, they can take at 11,800. Okay, so 5 दिन का कोर्स है ये. Okay, so you can do this course. Okay, so any questions so far? Or we will take a break of 10 minutes and then we'll do the last topic on digital sky platform. Anything we have missed? कोई टॉपिक पे और डिस्कशन या कोई टॉपिक है आपके दिमाग में या हमने कोई कवर नहीं किया या ऐसे कुछ आपको लग रहा है जिस पे हमको डिस्कशन करना चाहिए, और एनीथिंग यू फील, anything, any point which you think that we need to discuss or understand? नहीं,
No, sir.
कोई को टॉपिक नहीं है ऐसा? Good. So we'll take a 10 minutes break. We'll come back at 4-5 p.m. Okay? या 4:10 पे 4:10 को हम लोग ज्वाइन करेंगे वापस. I'll just keep the session open.